Hey guys, I've worked with a lot of buyers as an active realtor in northern New Jersey, and I could tell you that a lot of buyers want to find a diamond in the rough. But a lot of them don't make the connection that a diamond found in the rough needs to be cleaned off and polished. And a house that's a diamond in the rough is probably going to be ugly and old, and you need to update it to bring it back to life and make it beautiful and shine like new. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how you should approach your home search with a different angle as you think about finding your diamond in the rough. As a homeowner, realtor, and investor in New Jersey, I've seen a lot of properties over the years. Everything from complete fixer-uppers to ground-up new construction, and everything in between. And I could tell you that in this market that we're in, marked by low inventory, and that's been a trend for a while now, at least here in North Jersey, the people that get into the greatest bidding wars are the ones that are bidding on the shiny and new properties, whether that's the fully renovated condo or the beautiful single-family home in the suburbs. Those are the ones that attract the most buyer interest because a lot of buyers want something that's completely turnkey. They close and they get the keys to their shiny new home and they move right in and start enjoying it. And I get it. Look, a lot of people don't want to bother dealing with contractors. They have no idea about renovations. Maybe they don't have the funds. Maybe they barely scrape by enough for a down payment and closing costs, right? So I completely get it. But if you have some extra liquidity, or maybe you're getting help from parents or family members, and you have the ability to renovate, it could actually benefit you in this competitive market that we're in to look for the ugly houses, the diamonds in the rough, because there you might have a little bit more leverage and avoid getting into some of the bidding wars that we're seeing on renovated properties or new construction. Ugly houses might actually be the diamond in the rough you've been looking for in the search for your first home. A couple of other related points I want to mention. Number one, when you're buying a newly renovated home or condo, you are essentially paying a premium or full market value for someone else's renovation, which is fine if you don't want to bother renovating, but sometimes you might actually end up saving money if you buy an ugly old property and then hire your own contractor to renovate, because it might cost you less with the purchase price and renovation costs than you would have paid for a fully renovated property that gets multiple offers and you have to bid above asking, which is the case most of the time. So that's point number one. The second point I wanted to make is that when you buy someone else's fully renovated property, you're also buying someone else's tastes in terms of style. And sometimes you might like the overall look, but you might hate the backsplash they chose, or you might hate the color of the floor or the cabinets. And you're gonna say, honey, I love this house, but if we buy it, we're gonna have to change the backsplash in the cabinets and we might have to, redo the floor color. Or maybe you hate the wall paint color and you have to spend thousands of dollars hiring a painter to repaint the whole house. So sometimes you might end up bidding aggressively to get it, go over asking, end up closing on it, and then have to spend more money to make it yours anyway. So the advantage of targeting an ugly old house is that if you're gonna renovate, not only are you gonna make it beautiful again, you're also gonna make it yours. You're gonna choose your materials, your texture, your colors, and stylistically design it in a way that's pleasing to you, right? Without having to spend additional funds to change someone else's renovation. So the next point of this video, I wanna break down my favorite ugly aspects of old homes, and then how I think you could turn them around to make the home shiny and new again. Number one, ugly shag carpeting, or another favorite, linoleum flooring from the 60s. We've all seen homes like that. You step in, you're like, oof, there is an inch worth of cat hair in that carpet, and that carpet has not been cleaned and shampooed probably in 25 years. Or you walk on the linoleum and it's all chipped and peeling and cracking, and it looks like it's been there since 1965 when the house was built. That's okay. Easy to fix. You hire a contractor, they'll rip off the carpeting in probably a couple hours, and then you could choose. If it's plywood underneath, you could put nice hardwood floor down. You could put a floating floor down, like luxury vinyl plank, and problem solved. No more carpeting. And if it's linoleum, even easier. Leave the linoleum there. Most qualified contractors can easily put luxury vinyl plank right on top of the linoleum. That's why they call them floating floors. And you have beautiful, new flooring. You could choose the color and style you like, and no one will ever know there's ugly linoleum tiles from 1965 underneath. Second, old countertops, old cabinets, and old appliances. I've seen a lot of properties, you walk in, you look at the kitchen, and you immediately see that it's original to when that place was built. The old Formica, the old cabinets with the wood look, and the old hardware. Old appliances, ancient dishwashers or ancient fridges. No problem, look past it. Imagine your own modern new kitchen. You know, if you need inspiration, go to Pinterest or go to Instagram and browse modern kitchens. It is not hard for any decent contractor to rip out the old cabinets, the Formica counter, and remove the old appliances and put new ones in. That is not a big job. Any contractor should be able to renovate a kitchen. So don't be put off by the old Formica and the old knobs on the cabinets or that really, really old Whirlpool dishwasher. Easy fix. Number 3, old bathrooms. I've seen a lot of houses, especially from the 60s, with pink bathroom tiles with flower designs on them, or like baby blue tiles, or some other weird color, green, like vomit green. And you know, maybe in the 60s it was fashionable, but don't let those tiles turn you off from the property. If you're gonna renovate the bathroom, you're probably gonna rip out the tiles anyway. That old sink, gone. The old toilet, no problem. A nice new toilet will cost you a few $100s, plus the cost of labor. The tub, ancient tub, no problem. If you're gonna rip everything out, replace the tub. Sometimes if it's a nice cast iron tub, a professional contractor can simply reglaze it and make it shiny and white again. So don't be put off by really, really old bathroom tiling or fixtures. That's another easy fix. Now, when I say easy fix, obviously there's a price involved. But what I'm saying is it's not something that cannot be estimated and budgeted for reasonably accurately. Next favorite ugly aspect, old paint or outdated paint colors or even wallpaper. That's probably the easiest fix of all because it's easy to find a really good painter, and you go to Benjamin Moore, you get the color swatches and you pick your favorite colors and you tell the painter, I want this room this color, I want that room this color, and it's very easy. In a few days they can probably bang out the entire property. If it's a condo, even faster. And you have a beautifully painted unit with your favorite colors, and you'll never have to think about that ugly color from the mid-80s ever again. Same thing with wallpaper. It can be removed by a professional that knows what they're doing, and then you could pick your paint colors as well. So don't be put off by paint colors that you think are very unattractive, or you might step into a bedroom and it's a very dark color and you think it's oppressive. Just change the color, paint it. Not a big deal. Going down the list, the next one would be light fixtures. Sometimes the light fixture itself makes the room look dated. And I see that a lot. A 30-year-old light fixture, you can renovate the whole space. You could paint it with your favorite color and it looks nice and fresh on the walls. You could put down new flooring. But if you have an old light fixture hanging or a combo where it's like an old fan with a light, it will still make the room feel dated even if everything else has been renovated. So change the light fixture. You could pick your favorite online or even go to Lowe's or Home Depot. They're not expensive. And frankly, my wife and I have replaced our own light fixtures, but you can hire someone to do it for you. Any decent handyman can replace a light fixture. So don't be put off by that ugly old ceiling fan with the 4 bulbs, and when it's on high speed, it sways. Easy replacement, all right? And on that topic, there's a related note I want to make. Old ugly doors and dated trim work around them. Another easy replacement. I see a lot of those like old, hollow wood look doors from decades ago. Any contractor can take the doors off, put in nice, modern white doors with panels that suit your taste and style. And doors alone can immediately transform the space and make it look more modern and new. And then if you're replacing doors, it's fairly easy to pull out the old trim, whether that's door trim or baseboard trim, and put in nice modern moldings and trim and paint it semi-gloss, and suddenly the space is transformed. So just to recap, new kitchen, new bathroom, flooring, paint job, new light fixtures, and new doors and trim, and you could take an ugly old house and make it beautiful and new looking, and suddenly you've taken a diamond in the rough and you've made it a shiny diamond. And just a little side note, renovations are generally not that easy, and sometimes there's cost overruns, or they'll tell you it'll take 3 months, it actually takes 6 months. So I do want to issue a little bit of a warning. My goal is not to make it sound like everything is a piece of cake and will be done overnight. You do have to understand the risks, the risk of time or delays, the risk of cost overruns, and that's why it's very important to always get more than one quote. Get at least 2 quotes, preferably from reputable contractors with good reviews that someone has recommended to you, or at the very least have 5-star reviews on, let's say, Google, right? Get at least 2 quotes, maybe even more, because sometimes you might get recommendations from one contractor that you didn't hear from the other. One contractor might throw out a crazy price just to see if you bite, and the other one might come in like at half that price. So sometimes just hearing multiple quotes will help you realize who you're dealing with. And I'm not suggesting to go with a cheaper one all the time, but having multiple opinions will help you understand which direction is best. And you can actually do that while you're under contract. You don't have to wait till you close. You can get contractors in there, obviously at the right time and with permission, and you can get estimates while you're pending. So this way you could start to allocate funds and prepare for what you plan to do once you close. And you might be thinking, well, can't my realtor just give me estimates? The answer is they probably shouldn't, because unless they're also a licensed contractor, a realtor is not really qualified to give you quotes for work. By the way, the same is true for your inspector. I've been to inspections where the inspector is throwing out numbers. Oh, this is going to cost you this, this is going to cost you that. I've also seen a lot of inspectors being asked that question by buyers, first-time buyers, and the good inspectors say, you know what, I'm not qualified to give you estimates, I'm not a contractor. So don't go to your inspector for estimates. Go to your inspector for, hey, what are the major issues I should be worried about? Go to your realtor for deal-related advice. Go to your realtor for guidance on what you should be offering or how to navigate past the problem once you're under contract. But don't go to your realtor or your inspector to get quotes. Go to a licensed contractor, because they're in the business of renovating, right, and fixing houses. They're the ones that should be providing you estimates. So I hope these tips and these suggestions help you rethink your search, especially if you've been frustrated by losing out on multiple properties and getting into constant bidding wars and hearing from your agent about highest and best. Sometimes the dated ugly house that's been sitting on the market for a bit might be the best opportunity for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.